Greetings to you all. I come to you once again with an issue that I have spoken about for many years. And I am very, very happy that a group that has been formed by or with the leadership of my good friend Jacob Osei Yaboa has raised this issue once again. First of all, YK, I am the leader of Common Purpose Alliance Ghana, CPAC for short, and I happen to be the head of EVA, Independent Voters Alliance. It's a new project, more or less born out of CPAC. But this is a project that has been registered on its own, can be sued and can sue on its own. It's an independent organization. Civil society organ. Now, EVA, which is Independent Voters Alliance, as the name goes, is a project to bring together independent voters in Ghana. There has to be a way that we can come together, and EVA is taking the initiative to bring us together. The reason being that Tisiano, Yabapiti, we are all over the place. We are fragmented. We have the same concerns about the way things are going. From one regime to another, we have the same concerns. But the problem is that we are not together. We don't have a unified voice to push an agenda. We need to build a momentum to achieve something. That's why we have the horse as our logo. The horse is a symbol of wisdom, power, strength, and everything that goes with freedom. Building the momentum to free yourself. That's what the horse stands for. So we need to come together, and you need to join us, Independent Voters Alliance. It's not a political party. We need to come together so that we can have a say. After we give our vote to any presidential candidate to win election, we can have a say in how to deliver the promises that resonated with our concerns and won our vote. It's as simple as that. No political party in Ghana, NPP or NDC, can win elections in Ghana with their own core supporters. It will not happen. They don't go out there to campaign, go on the campaign trail and waste their time, energy, and money to convince their core supporters. No, that's not why they go out there. They know very well that their core supporters cannot win them in presidential election. But there is about 12% voting segment there. That is you and I, the independent-minded voters, who needs to be convinced to vote for any political party. That they come to us and make us all sorts of promises, and then individually we go out there and vote for them. Because those promises resonate with us. Things are going on in the country that we don't want. They tell us all sorts of things, sweet words. But when they come to power, more often than not, we find out that they are as bad as the the government that they replace. It's happened over and over again, for the last 25 years. I know. So, we have realized that the only thing these politicians take serious and the only thing that really scares the shit out of them, excuse my friend, is people that are united. Is anything that commands leadership and numbers. That is why politicians take the clergy serious. Churches, they take them serious because they command numbers. They have a congregation. They have influence on these people. So they give them some preferential treatment. They take the chiefs as well. They have subjects, GD says psychologically info. They have some influence on people who come in their towns and villages and districts and all the rest of it. And recently, musicians, artists, because they have a fan base, they try to make them look like they are on the dining table with them so that their fan base will have a feel that, our man is being raised or is being invited to be dining and exchanging ideas with the president or the aspiring president. So they know the psychology of numbers, and elections is about numbers. You need to get your numbers right. But the problem with the independent voters is that we are all over the place. So, as I explained, we need to come together, form a unified voice, build a momentum, and demand accountability to election promises. Other than that, we punish the politician for not doing that. We'll go into details soon, but for now, I want to talk about this issue to do with second round voting. It's something that many of them I've been saying for some time now. Macron several times said, I don't see the common sense. I don't see the relevance. I don't see any sense in second round voting. I mean, it doesn't happen in any serious country. Over here in the UK, although we practice parliamentary democracy, you have to get 225 seats in parliament to form a government. If any political party cannot do that, you need to go into a coalition with any other political party that you believe you were campaigning along the same lines of things that you share more or less same views about certain things. If you cannot do that, the first political party that got the highest seat cannot do that, then they couldn't form a government, and they have to leave it to the next in line to see if they can form a government. There's no second round voting, and it is not necessary because it's waste of time, money, and everything. When people go and vote, they vote for the political party that they believe they want them to win. If they cannot win, and nobody can win, have a majority, nobody can cross the line, then you have to go into coalition with other smaller parties. You see, this is the way you make the smaller parties relevant. And I think the time has come that the constitution needs to be changed to scrap the second round voting. It is bad. It hasn't helped us at all for 27 years. I mean, I'll give you two examples. It promotes winner takes all mentality. You and I know it's not right for our democracy. It has been a very backward, dysfunctional, counterproductive scenario in Ghana politics for many decades, right? Going into the third decade. It is a breeding ground to infest potential presidential candidates to be corrupted. We've seen it several times. even before they win political power. These political parties or presidential candidates completely go against political parties at 574. They already go against it, but when it comes to the second round, they are broke. They are completely broke. So they take money from anywhere and promise these people, whether legal or illegal, that they take money from all sorts of juicy contracts, right? All sorts of juicy. I mean, if I'm going to give you money to win an election from the back door, illegal. I'm not supposed to give you money, but they go against the political parties Act 574. Look, when they're in opposition, they are broke already. So when it comes to second round, they are completely broke. So I think, look, the most important thing about this idea of scrapping the second round is simple. It's going to help. The advantage of it is that it's going to help make the smaller parties and the individual independent presidential candidate relevant in Ghana politics. And that is what we need. We need fresh ideas. We need these smaller parties to be relevant. We need these big two political parties who have dominated Ghana politics for well over 25 years to take these smaller parties and the independent candidate serious, because they don't take them serious because they know they can never win 50% plus one. They are irrelevant. They can get 1%, 2% or whatever, but at the end of the day, it amounts to nothing. We will go to, if we have to go to second round, you are not important. We may say, oh, you come and support us, but at the end of the day, they support them and they get nothing out of it. Their views, their concerns, what they stand for cannot really be put on the table as part of coming into coalition. So scrapping it is good for Ghana politics because it's going to make, it's going to raise the bar of Ghana politics. The best ideas are from some of these smaller parties, and it's not like the best ideas, but they've got some great ideas there. And the way we've seen Ghana politics unfold between MPP and NDC, for 25 plus years, and I know, right? They have dominated the scene, but we take one step forward, take two steps backward. It is counterproductive, dysfunctional, everything. They haven't managed to use the system to elevate the critical thinking and bring in fresh ideas and challenge themselves to raise above Ghana politics. They haven't done that. So we have to change this paradigm and bring in new ideas from these smaller parties and these independent presidential candidates. Let's make them relevant. At least if they are able to secure 2%, 3%, 4%, or 5%, then they know very well that it's not going to go to nothing. Someone has to come to them that, look, I couldn't get 50% plus one, so I need to form government with you. And I'll tell you, this is my conditions to form a government with me. We have to do this, that. These things must be done. These things must be done. Constitutional amendment has to be on the table before I bring my 2%. I bring my 3% to form a government with you. It has to be done. Let's help change politics in Ghana. We need to scrap this useless second round voting in Ghana. It is counterproductive. It hasn't held for 25 years. It promotes winner takes all. It breeds the ground for corruption. Let's scrap it. I'm going to read what Jacob Osei-Boy and his guys, his new group, they are saying, and then see whether I completely agree with them or not. Okay, let's change second round voting. The group says, all right, let me start reading. The Independent Candidate Association of Ghana, ICAG, a group of individuals aiming to contest various positions in the 2020 election is advocating for a referendum to change the second round of voting, where the two political parties with the highest votes get the opportunity to get a second round head-to-head for the presidential slot. The group proposed that the two political parties with the highest votes must be given the opportunity to form a government with the minority parties, indicating that the party with the highest votes can be given the opportunity to convince the minority parties to add their votes to attain 50% plus one vote. Exactly. If the first party fails to do so, the opportunity should be given to the second party with the highest votes to also convince the smaller parties to add their votes, after which a government could be formed. The president of ICAC, Mr. Jacob Osayabo, said in an interview with the Daily Graphic, "Alright, best practice." According to him, the second round of elections being practiced in Ghana was not the best, since it creates room for the biggest political parties to do everything within their power to win power. Ghana News headline. No, I don't want to read that. That's an advert. Alright. Apart from the state having to cough huge resources to plan the round-off, apart from the state having to cough huge resources to plan the runoff election, Mr. Yabo said political parties are forced to do everything within their powers to get the needed funding for the second campaign. This is where you see political parties enter into partnership with organizations or individuals to sponsor them. The parties, in their desperate state, offer the sponsors whatever they want so that they get the finances for the second round, he said. Exactly, this is where I'm saying it breeds corruption. I mean, corruption is one of the biggest issues facing Ghana politics, and it doesn't look like NPP and NDC, they've got a solution for it, because they have created a culture of corruption. They have legalized, institutionalized corruption around the political corridors of power in Ghana politics. Unfortunately, it's become like the norm rather than the exception around Ghana politics, unfortunately. So we need to find a way to break this jinx, right? And until we have fresh, new political parties or presidential candidates having a say around the political corridors of power, we cannot help change the culture of corruption in Ghana politics. Alright, let me finish this and then I'll react to it. Mr. Ebo said a lot of contracts given to people or organizations were entered during election year, adding that most of the resources of the state have been sold out to organizations that sponsored parties. Developed state. Using Germany as an example is the same like I use UK as an example. He said the country does not allow a second round of elections, but rather creates an avenue for the leading party to form a government with the minority party. In this way, no more resources are spent on elections, and parties are not forced to seek sponsorship that would make them enter into wrong contracts, Mr. Ebo said. He said allowing leading party to form a government with the minority parties would also address a winner-takes-all politics, exactly what I said, adding that such a government will be more nationalistic. Additionally, Mr. Ebo said it would also make minor political parties to become more relevant, exactly. I agree with all the points that you've listed, my friend. Yeah, that's true. Become more relevant in the country since the biggest parties will need their support in the extreme case. He expressed the hope that Ghana would consider the proposal and offer a proper dialogue on the need to change the second round voting election. I agree, 110%. I've said this several times that it makes no sense for second round voting. It is counterproductive, it is waste of time. Just if you cannot get 50% plus one, make those who voted for other political parties relevant, because that is their first choice. You cannot then turn around and tell them, come and choose two parties that I don't like. By force, come and choose one of them. No. Let's respect the democratic consensus of the people when they go out there and vote for the first time. Let's respect that and scrap this useless second round voting, waste of money, waste of resources, breed corruption, promotes winner take all. All these things are counterproductive to our democratic system. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation greater and stronger. God bless you, and don't forget to say a prayer with every heartbeat. This is your brother Whitey again, coming to you as usual, and I'll come your way again. Don't forget to look for IVA, Independent Voters Alliance. Come and join us. Let your vote count. Don't throw your vote away and go to sleep. Come and join us so that we can have a unified voice and push politicians that when they come to us and ask us for our vote in exchange for ABCD, only you say bay or yo and do what they are supposed to do. Together we stand and make these politicians do the right thing. Fragmented and divided all over the place, we fall and they do whatever they like they are doing. God bless you.